Okay, folks, so we've got day 3 of session. So we'll make our warm-up a little bit briefer and get a little further into the stretching. Let's just begin as we have been doing. I'll be a little briefer on these, and you can do more if you wish. Starting with ankles, we'll work our way up. Going to knees. In one direction and the other. Just remembering we can time the movement to the breath. And the hips. And depending on how your body is feeling, this might be a day to explore your range of motion a little more or perhaps a little less and be a little easier on your body. If you find certain spots that feel like they could be worked a little, then feel free to stop and do that. Okay, we'll do that twisting, turning movement. And if you're used to this movement, you don't have to turn your foot out, or you can experiment gently with it, just to take some of the pressure off your back to do it that way. If you don't turn your foot out, it'd be like this. So it's a little more intense. And let's do shoulder circles, a few forward. And more back. And remembering, I'm inhaling and exhaling as the shoulders go down. The chest can lift with the shoulders. As they go down, they can pull together on the back a little. Whatever feels comfortable to your body. And now, let's say 10 straight shrugs up and down. You can drop them quickly or slowly, whatever feels good. Okay, and then arms, we can do them this way or this way, whatever feels good to you. Let's do a few forward. And again, we'll do more back. Shake out the arms a little maybe. So those shoulder stretches, chest openers we've done can be combined. You do like this or like this, or even like this. They can be combined with the neck exercises. So first the nodding. So you can kind of do both at one time, depending on what feels right for your body. You never need to push. If you're lifting the chin up, remember about extension, remember about lifting the chest. You'll feel maybe a little bit more of a stretch across the front if you have your hands back, behind the back, hands and arms. Okay, and then that was the yes movement. This is the no movement. If you've been gripping one way, you can swap the hands over to the other. Inhaling to center, turning in sequence to look over each shoulder. Again, you can do more of these later if you want, as long as you're gentle. It's hard to do too many. And then there may be some movement. I'm doing it now with the hands out like this. Use whatever variation you want, or just keep the arms at the side. Whatever feels good for your body. Let's do some of the upward reaches. I want to do it with a slightly different variation today. So we're inhaling up, turning hands over. First time we just stretch upward. Pulling the belly in towards the navel to protect the lower back. That also helps with awareness of the hara, which is the center of gravity of the body. So especially in some of these movements, you should be able to feel it. If you wish to go back a little, please do, but listen to your body. Exhaling down. This time we'll do the variation where we go to one side and the other. Inhaling up. And take a breath here. Over to one side, drawing in that hara point. Take a breath or two here. Extending, extending. Inhaling back to center. You can swap the finger position if you want. Other side. Stretching out and up towards that corner where the wall meets the ceiling. Back to center on an inhale and an exhale. Dropping the hands. And let's do that full body shakeout before we do the final variation. It's one called rattling the bones. Just to whatever degree feels good. Shaking out all the joints. It's a bit like a crazy dance. You don't have to do it that intensely, but you should look silly doing this. If you're not looking silly, you're probably not really doing it. And if you want to end with a few jumps, I find that helpful. I want to do the upward reach this time with a twisting variation. The way that'll go is we'll inhale up, stretch up as always, navel in towards the spine, drop the arms halfway, and we're going to turn to look over the left shoulder and breathe. You can drop your arms anytime. Back to center, just simple reaching up, hands drop over the other shoulder. Breathing. Coming back with an inhale, exhale, arms come down. Shake out the arms a little bit. Anything else that needs shaking out? So let's do that wide-legged forward bend again. So remembering that the movement comes from the hips. And feet can go as wide as is comfortable. Feet parallel or whatever's comfortable for your body. So we can begin by stretching upward a little bit, lifting the chest. If it feels okay for your back, drawing in the hara, of course, you can do a little bit of a back bend and look upward. On exhale, we'll come forward. The first time, just straight forward. And you can walk the hands down the legs to give yourself some support. And while we're bending forward, we can do some of that working from one leg to the other. Might be comfortable to just rest your hands above your knees while doing this. Do whatever variations work for you, please. You can hold on one side for a little bit if you want. That feels good. Timing movement to breath, awareness of the hara. Okay, and we'll walk the hands back up. Let's try something that's a little bit of a back bend, and please be very careful. Only go as far as feels good. It's just a mild one. Remember to draw on the belly. The way this works is arms extend, palms turn up. It's very simple. We're just going to lift the chest, go back just a little, as much as feels good for your body. You don't have to lift your head if that doesn't feel good. If it does feel good, great. You could probably feel that openness in the chest. You can draw the shoulder blades together if that feels good. You can turn the palms further back to the back wall to accentuate the stretch of the shoulders. You can drop your arms anytime. Always breathing. And then exhale, just let the hands and arms drop. And this time we'll go forward again, and this time we'll do the side to side movement with it. You can begin by stretching upward as much as you wish. Move forward. First thing, we're just going to do the center. And you can keep your hands on your thighs. If they reach the floor, they can touch the floor. If it feels good to cross your arms and let your torso, neck, and head dangle, that can feel very good if it's okay for your body. Breathing. Using the natural relaxation response of the exhale to sink in. Come up in the middle of this if you need to. Otherwise, we're going to walk over to one leg. If you need to come up first, that's fine. And then just come back down again. Over to one leg, just gripping it anywhere that feels comfortable. Stretching down towards that foot. Relaxing, especially with the exhale. It's okay to bend the knee a little if that is better for your body. This is all about body awareness. And we can walk the hands over or move whatever way you want to the other side. Again, several full breaths here. And we'll come back to the center. And you might want to drop down one more time at the center. Up to you. And then walking back up. bending the knees if that feels better. Okay. So we're going to use a forward bend again to come down to the floor. But this time first, I just want to bend over one time and back up. So it's like we just did, except the feet are closer together, perhaps hip or shoulder width, or closer together if you want. Other than that, everything's the same. We're going to inhale up to lengthen the spine, only as far as you wish. Whenever we're inhaling up like that, remember drawing in the heart towards the lower spine. And then we're just going to bend over, bend the knees at first, I recommend. And then you can gradually straighten them if that feels good. We're just going to breathe here for a minute or two. Hands can go on the legs, shins to the floor, or they can cross and dangle along with the head and neck. I tend to keep my knees a little bit bent in forward bends like this. The stretch is just as good and it's a little easier on the body. A few breaths. Last time, exhaling on an inhale, we're walking back up the legs. If you're accustomed to forward bends, you can come up any way you want, but that's the safest way on your back, is just to walk up the legs and not expect the back and the back muscles to carry your full weight as you come up. So we don't want to make our muscles more sore by unaccustomed motion. So, okay, we'll do this again, and we'll use it to get to the floor, to do a few things down there. So I like to always start with my hands to remind me where the hips are. I like to start by inhaling, the hands overhead, stretching upward. Knees can be a little bent as you swan dive forward or walk down the legs forward. Whatever feels good. Just take a breath or two here. Okay, and this time we're going to step one foot back. For me, I'm going to step the right back. So we're in a lunge position. The knee can go down. And you can support with your hands. If this is enough for you, then enough's enough. So just breathe in here. You feel a stretch across both hips. And just really let your mind go into there. And on the exhale, let them relax. Surprising how much the mind has to do with this letting go of tension. You can also come up on your fists if that feels better. And other variations, if it feels good, you can walk up to your knee like this. That gives a little more of a stretch in the back hip. Breathing, really putting your mind there. If you're accustomed to doing another variation of this, please feel free to. Some people may want to stretch upward. Another variation is to extend the front foot out a little ways. So just be gentle. Don't overdo. Wherever you end up, just breathing, releasing, especially with the exhale. Okay, as you feel ready, probably with an exhale, we'll step back to tabletop. Let's do some of those cat and cows again. If you're only going to do one exercise for sitting, say do this one, just don't overdo. It works the hips, the whole back, the shoulders, even the head and neck. Timing with the breath. If you find a spot that needs a little work, you can hold it there. Also, I'd suggest let's do a little circling with the bottom. And you can combine this with the movement any way you like. Just it's a matter of finding out what feels good, where your body needs a little bit of work. And you can, again, hold one of these positions, like that one for me. And I've got on the other side too. Just work it a little bit. And also, we've got that move where we look over one shoulder and then the other. And depending on what works for your body, you can do that one too. Combine it with the movement in any way makes sense. Okay, so let's take a little breather with child's pose. Toes together, knees wide. That's the variation I prefer, if it's okay for your body. If not, you'll have to vary it whatever way makes sense. And then if you need a pillow or something for under your head, that helps if you need it. Walking, the hands forward, coming all the way down. Just for a breath or two. Each exhale, just let gravity take the body. If you wish to just remain here, that's fine for a few more breaths. Or you can walk the hands to one side to get a side stretch, settle down there. For a couple breaths. This makes for a good hip stretch too. And then you can walk back to center, relax for a breath on the other side, or just hang out in any version that you like. Okay, and then coming back up, you can use the hands to walk yourself back up if you like. And now let's do the lunge on the other side. So for me, that means stepping my right foot forward. Left goes back. And same as we did last time. If you need to loosen up your clothes a little, that can help. Should be feeling the stretch, the outside of this hip, obviously the crease of the hip, the front part of the other hip. Just breathing. If you wish to do any of the variations we discussed, please do. This makes a difference to come up on the front knee like this, if the balance works for you. Or you can even come all the way up. And also, there's the option of going further by extending the front heel a little bit and straightening that leg. But just do what your body feels like cooperating with. Always breathing. Okay, let's walk back to tabletop. I want to do a simple twist with us today. So, there's a few variations on this. The easiest one is front leg is outstretched like that, the other one's up. But a nicer twist for the outside of the hips is if you can bring this leg under like that. If you can't, don't worry, use the straight leg version. Either way, this leg comes up, and you might need to work it a little bit to get comfortable, get your belly out of the way. If you want a lighter twist, you can turn like this. Just hold and breathe. However, a more intense twist is to go the other way, and that really helps the outside of the hips. So you can hold the leg like this, or you can bring the arm over and exhale into the twist. And you're probably feeling that across one or both of the outer hips. And really don't overdo breathing as you twist, relaxing into it. And then slowly releasing, never come out of a twist too quickly. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. You can extend this leg forward if you like. You can bend inside or outside, but the one that's really nice for the hips is like this. If you want to accentuate it even more, you cross the raised leg over the other hip. Then you'll really feel it across this hip. I know we didn't do that on the other side. I'll leave it to you if you want to do this variation on the other side. So you can hold the knee like this. Now you really feel the stretching across this hip, I'm sure. Or this arm could go inside that leg, or it could be raised like so. And just twisting as far as your body wants to twist. Don't force the lower back too much. If you have to adjust the hips, please do. Most of the twist comes from mid and upper back. And a lot of the purpose of this is that hip stretch, especially this one. Breathing, and then slowly coming out. Okay, we'll do just a couple minutes of guided relaxation we have time for. So again, on our backs. Put something under your head if you need it. Going to do a different variation today, which is tensing each part of the body and then dropping it. If you don't like that, then please just tense and release like we did yesterday. I'm just giving you kind of a range of ways to do this. So once you got yourself comfortable, take a few breaths to let yourself sink against the ground or the mat. On an inhale, tense and lift both feet, ankles, lower legs. Hold, hold, hold. On an exhale, just let them drop. So it's a sudden drop. If that doesn't feel good, then do it gradually. Next, on an inhale, we'll lift and tense the entire leg, ankle and foot. Doesn't have to come off the ground if that doesn't feel good. Just tightening, tightening, tightening. Lifting maybe a little bit, all the way up to the hips. And then on an exhale, just drop. Now, hips, buttocks, pelvic area, sacrum, lower back, lower abdomen, tightening, tightening. You might not actually lift, but you're just, maybe just a little hair, but tightening, 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 tightening. On an exhale, suddenly release. Middle back, lower ribs, internal organs, that whole region. Same thing, tighten, tighten, tighten. On an exhale, suddenly release. Mid to upper back, shoulder blades, upper ribs, lung and heart area, breastbone, up to the shoulders. And let's include the arms all the way down to the hands. Tightening, tightening, tightening. You might want to lift the arms off the ground, tighten everything. On an exhale, just let it go. You want to be gentle with your head and neck. You can lift them if you want. If not, you can just tighten. Don't forget the face. Base of the neck where the shoulders are. Tighten, 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 pull. On an exhale, release. You might want to do once more with the whole body. Just tighten everything you can tighten. Feeling of lift to the degree which seems comfortable and possible. On an exhale, let everything go. Just let gravity take the breath. If you have a few minutes to just relax further and let the breath circulate, please do. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow.